Hey, what's up, ladies and gents? This is Dominic DeAngelo of Brass Ring Media, and it is the daily wrestling hotline for June 1st, 2025. And I'm happy to be here with you guys and gals today. Uh, for some unfortunate circumstances that happens in the business, obviously, with, you know, it's every business it happens. Uh, Getting fired, getting released, losing their jobs. You don't like to see it, but it's a part of the it's part of the wrestling business. And unfortunately, it was something that happened for our truth today, or impending. Our truth took to X today to issue a statement and make the reveal. So this is what he had to say. I'm sorry to inform you all. I just got released from WWE. I want to thank WWE for the ride, but mostly I want to thank each and every one of you who is along for the ride. Thank you all for the love, support, and appreciation you have given me over the years. Thank you. And then he did get quite the reception back. Lots of people shared, his colleagues from Sheamus to Pat McAfee to Carlito. No, not Carlito. To Road Dog, also, who Road Dog was very close with our truth. He says, I am heartbroken. This is the nature of the beast. It's part of the business that no one likes but the bean counters. I love Ron the Truth killings, and I don't care who knows it. What a run. And then, our truth got a whole lot of love. Natty Neidhart posted something very nice. Jochen Wild shared a really interesting story regarding our truth and how he really influenced him into helping build his persona. I believe, if I can find it real quick, I will read it. I just got intrigued to. I actually shared it on my X account here. All right, so this is the cool story Jochen Wild had to share. This at the time, this right now it's 7:15, so about 2:15 p.m. Jochen Wild shared this after Ron Killings made the announcement he was let go by WWE. FCW tryout 2010. Our Truth speaks to all of us, tells his story, how he came from a music background and how he brought that to wrestling. Someone raises their hand and asks, what if we don't come from some other background? What if it's just we love wrestling and want to be wrestlers? Truth says, then that's your story. But it's not that interesting because everyone has that story. Yeah, I will never forget that moment because it was a game changer for me. I realized I might be one-dimensional. Forced me to do some soul searching and figure out what else I was passionate about in life besides pro wrestling. Realized I've always loved music. My DJ/producer journey started pretty soon after that. I was able to bring that background into my pro wrestling career too. So in a way, DJ Z, which is Zima Ion, which he went by in TNA, and a lot of my early opportunities and successes in wrestling would have never happened without our truth. I've gotten to thank him personally and let him know that without him speaking to us at FCW that day, I may not have been to where I am now. He helped change my trajectory, and I wanted it known publicly. Also, because of him, I would never have started making beats, DJ'd on Sway in the morning, made my Spotify Wild West, or dropped an entire album remixing Japanese wrestling entrance themes. Coming soon. Then he said, so thank you again for everything, our truth. And then he shared a picture of the LWO all together with our truth as well. So really cool story from Jochen Wild. I almost called him Jochen Phoenix. Jochen Wild. It just shows how loved our truth was in WWE. And there's actually a report from Fightful following that up. So this is according to Fightful Select. Sean Ross Sapp here. He says, our truth is leaving WWE in a shocking move, despite the fact that our truth is 53. He was looked at as a WWE lifer by many, but doesn't appear to be the case. Fightful Select Sean Ross Sapp has confirmed our truth was contacted by talent relations employee this weekend and informed that his contract would not be extended as it is expiring. Based on those we spoke to, he was told he hadn't been in trouble and did nothing wrong. A number of talent spoke with him following the news to check in on him, and that everyone seemed confused by the news, including Truth himself. The reaction from the roster was unlike anything we've covered. Despite covering hundreds of releases and departures, the departure was met with complete shock and disbelief, with one talent calling it total nonsense. One top talent calling it total nonsense. Another calls this regime ruthless. It's by far the most criticized and universally disliked departure we've covered. Throughout Fightful's 9 years of existence, we've never had backstage source speak ill or anything less than glowingly of Truth. Truth has also had one of the top selling WWE shirts in recent weeks with the Ron Cena shirt. While R-Truth name has been one used within WWE, he's used Ron the Truth Killings outside of WWE when working with NWA and TNA in previous years. So there's more likely on the horizon for R-Truth, I would think. And look, it's pretty unexpected for sure. What a wonderful send-off, though, in certain ways, that he gets to have a headline match on basic cable television with arguably one of WWE's biggest stars of all time in John Cena, and kind of complete that story. So it's really unfortunate. I think there's so much more value in Truth. I really was excited about maybe the potential opportunities of the after effects of his match with Cena once he lost. What's next for R-Truth? Will we see a different side of him? And unfortunately, we did not, or at this moment in time, are not getting that opportunity. But it made me think about what Karrion Kross has been chirping about regarding R-Truth whenever he hits the radar of the news beat, so to speak. Anytime Karrion Kross has kind of hit some wavelengths or airwaves on social media, or it has a big match like he did with Cena here, Karrion Kross would note about Ron Killings in TNA and the different side that you saw on Ron Killings. So, while it's unfortunate that R-Truth is no longer with WWE, and what a fantastic run he's had, he's been one of my favorites. And I will say, too, I saw him way back, September 2000, my very first live WWE event. It was Monday Night Raw in State College, Pennsylvania, the Bryce Jordan Center. Up in the nosebleeds, me, my degenerate brother Marcus, and my parents went. I was wearing a Rock shirt at the time. We made a sign that I drew from a cracked magazine, a caricature of The Rock. I was holding that there. And I remember it being dark matches beforehand. The Haas brothers, so Charlie and Russ, the late Russ Haas, I believe, teamed up and faced Road Dogg and a guy named K-Quick, who we would later know as R-Truth. And I was really intrigued by K-Quick. I thought it was a cool tandem to have Dog and R-Truth together. And I was like, man, this is a cool way to kind of keep Road Dogg going, like in regards to after DX and what's planned for him. I remember going back and immediately making R-Truth on No Mercy after that. And that's around the time No Mercy came out, was around then. So it was like very timely that all that kind of happened. But obviously he left WWE since then and went to NWA TNA, became the NWA World Champion, which is awesome, and rejuvenated and reinvented himself in certain ways, and then came back with R-Truth and had a really memorable run too, a heel run where he's ripping cigarettes with The Miz as Awesome Truth, and had a match with Cena back then too. And so, man, I just love R-Truth. I love what he does. I love his energy, his backstory of how Jackie Crockett was the one who really helped R-Truth find his way, because he was like a troubled kid in certain ways and was in a bad way. And it was Jackie Crockett who really influenced him to go into pro wrestling and find his light, so to speak. So, and he has. So, and I'm sure he will out as a free agent. It'll be very exciting to see what R-Truth does next in pro wrestling, if he decides to do it. Who knows? I hope he does. I think he would be great. Hey, that's not the only release we are destined to have here. Carlito made the announcement too that he will be leaving WWE. And while Carlito has had a shorter stint than R-Truth, his run too has been pretty memorable and in a lighthearted way than the reaction he got when he showed up at Backlash in Puerto Rico. Holy smokes, that was big time. And so W took note of that. They signed him, man. And he's just kind of, in his own way, he's kind of been underutilized, I would say. Like, he's been great at his role as the comedic relief in Judgment Day, adding his quips and certain things like that. And he did just apparently win the WWC heavyweight championship. That's the Puerto Rican championship from the territory he's all too familiar with in Puerto Rico that his late father ran, Carlos Colon. And you know all the controversy down there as well. But this is what Carlito had to say. My contract is up in 2 weeks. It will not be renewed. On top of that, WWE is demanding I pay back the money they paid me for apparently stealing money from the company. I've had my lawyers look into it, and after reviewing my footage on Netflix for the past months, they suggested I pay them back the money. And then he said, all jokes aside, gracias WWE, and especially the WWE universe, los quiero mucho. P.S. I'll reappear again in another 13 years. Dios me los bendeja. So pretty cool, pretty funny. Yeah, Carlito, it was neat to see him back. Neat to see him back in the mix. Always when those veterans come in, you want to see them do more with them. And I think that speaks to the same with Carlito. And I always think there was way more to do with R-Truth as well. So, but wow, what a unexpected news stuff to happen on a Sunday here, 1st of June. And figured I wasn't going to do a hotline today, but figured this warranted it. And then it gave me the excuse too that I probably won't do one tomorrow because it's my birthday and I'm turning 40. And so I don't think I'll do a hotline unless there's crazy news that hits and I got to cover that. And then I will hop back on. But for right now, this is what we'll get. And I'll hop back on starting on Tuesday again, unless news pending, right? So, but if you're tuning in not long after this gets posted, hey, go to rvdtv.com because tonight at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, June 1st, RVD and I will be going live, and we got plenty to talk about when it comes to. I'll bring up Carlito. I'll bring up R-Truth. I'm going to. Rob Van Dam has talked about Sabu's book. I'm sure we'll be covering that in great detail. Might be some more stuff that might be a little interesting. So wait and see. And as of now, we might have a special guest, but we might not. So if you're tuning in still on the evening of June 1st, and it's before 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, go to rvdtv.com and join us live. Ask some questions. A great amount of the time involves fan interaction on that show, and we'd love to have you there. So do that. And check out my LJ Cleary interview I just recently did on Brass Ring Media, the past couple hotlines that I posted. And please send your best wishes out to Zach Hadorn, my co-partner here at Brass Ring Media. He got in a scary car accident. Thankfully, he and his family are all okay, but it was a really, really scary incident, obviously. So if you want to wish him all the best, hit him up on X at Zach_Hadorn. That's H-E-Y, Horn. And Zach is spelled with a K, not a H. So Zach_Hadorn. Send him well wishes out there. And well wishes to you guys too, guys and gals. Thanks for tuning in. And I'll see you again this week on the Daily Wrestling Hotline. Call 1-900-909-9900.